What is up, my friends? You are very, very welcome along to Tuesday night's late night agenda. It is a pleasure to be here with you guys as always, and fair to say we've a good bit to get through on tonight's show. We're of course going to be discussing the headline, the title of tonight's stream. We're going to be asking the question, who is Jurgen Klopp really looking to replace Fabinho? And what else can we expect over what has been an absolutely crazy summer window so far? So, my friends, as always, it's great to be back home. It's lovely to be here with you. I'm still getting used to having you all back, being on here. I'm sort of on time, Jared. Yeah, for me, this is on time, right? Me being a month late, or a month, an hour late, a day late, a minute late, you get used to it. But I show up eventually. Mark, thank you, buddy, for being a member with us for so long. He said, welcome to Anfield Agenda. Your host is me. And yeah, thank you very much, Mark, as well, for that in the chat, and everybody else. Appreciate you being with us, and let's get stuck into it. So, my friends, the title of tonight's video, the title of tonight's stream is, of course, about what's going on with Lucho. And I'm a little bit concerned, not because I think that Liverpool will lose Diaz. I don't see any way that Liverpool will look to sell Diaz. Why would we? But it does give us a little flavour of what the future might look like, right? What the future might look like with regards to the offers coming in from Saudi, the players that they're going after. You know, can Liverpool afford to keep saying no all the time? And is there any way that we end up being the selling club that, let's be frank, we were at one point? I hope not. And the information that I'm getting and reading and trying to figure out about Lucho Diaz is that he's not going to go anywhere. And there's not one of us here who want to sell him either. So let's be straight about that. But everybody has a number. Every single person has a number with regards to the club's valuations of them. And I just hope we don't get near Lucho's, because Klopp has a headache at the minute. He's got a headache trying to figure out the next two midfielders we're bringing in. He's got a headache trying to figure out the left-sided centre-back and a few more. So we don't need an attacking headache when we finally got our attack to a point where I think we're all relatively happy with it. I'm over the moon with it. I mean, I love the attackers we have at the club. So, David Leslie, thank you, my friend, for becoming a member of Anfield Agenda Ultras, which is, of course, the higher tier membership on the channel. Buddy, appreciate you. I did put up a poll last night for the Ultra members asking who do you want to be the next Liverpool captain. For me, Andy Robertson would be my choice. Is he not only 25, he's got ages, said GDem. Yes, he has got time on his side, my friend. Absolutely, I'm with you on that one. And I've not seen any indication that Liverpool are willing to listen to offers. But we can't ignore that the offer looks like it's about to be forthcoming. So I guess we got to discuss it. And on that, you know, where this information comes from is always important as well. And we have to remember here that Pepe Sierra is on the ball when it comes to Lucho Diaz, when it comes to all things Liverpool. And this is what he has said earlier on Twitter. He said, the interest of Al Hilal in Luis Diaz is real. However, no offer has come to Liverpool, but at the moment, the club has no intention to sell the player. Info with Paul Joyce. So, considering we paid just under 50 million, if you look at it including all the potential add-ons, I think it came up to about 47 million. I can't see 50 million being a number that Liverpool even begin to look at to sell Diaz. So, hopefully, we've nothing to worry about on that regard. But there's a lot to talk about with midfield and with the situation. So, from my understanding of it, Fabinho's deal is progressing and we will see that come to a conclusion over the next day or two. I think he's actually had his medical, and if he hasn't had it, he's very close to having it. So, that looks like a runner. But the Jordan Henderson one is very interesting. I pitched something the other day, which was, I guess, my way of trying to figure out how this situation could be resolved if El Ettifaq weren't willing or able to pay the £20 million that Liverpool wanted for Jordan Henderson. And the conclusion that I came to was we may see Henderson having to forgo some of that jump in wages to make the move happen. Because at this point, it feels like there's no way back for Henderson, especially with the captaincy. So I wonder, will we see Jordan Henderson doing what Felipe Coutinho did when he left Liverpool, which is almost funding some of the move himself. I think, if my memory is correct, Coutinho coughed up about £11.5 million out of his own pocket to make that Barcelona deal happen. And I wonder if we're going to see a situation where maybe Jordan Henderson has to do similar to get the move out the door. Maybe he has to sacrifice 100 grand a week or something. I don't know. But that one is the quieter one of the two, from my end anyway. I've not heard anything new on the Henderson situation. But I want to ask you guys, what do you think's the likeliest outcome here? with regards to Fabinho and Jordan Henderson. And then we can move on to the conversation, of course, about replacements and value and Joshua Kimmich and many other names that have been mentioned. What have we got? Darwin New Coit, you'll never walk alone. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. First one of the night, love it. Said, evening, Lord. Newland come back as well. Oh, you know he did. You know he did. A lot of people don't have a clue who Newland is, and they're going to wonder right now why there is a dancing alien on my table. But it's important that you remember, I don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on John W. Henry, because that's what I do most of the time. But yes, this is a little dancing mascot Newland Voider. You'll see him popping up in happy moments throughout the streams, usually when we score goals and stuff like that as well. He's coming between here and Ibiza. He's got a residency over in Ibiza that he likes to, do every summer, because Newland's got to get paid, so occasionally we are graced with his presence. But yes, appreciate you all remembering him. So Hendo needs to go, said Marty. Welcome back to YouTube, mate, said David Correa. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate all the support. Look, yesterday I left the stream smiling ear to ear. I was tremendously proud and filled full of love. Honestly, yesterday was amazing. So thank you guys so much for that brilliant welcome back. We didn't think the numbers would touch on anywhere near what they did. So for you guys to come back and show some support again, thank you all. But yeah, let's get to your comments, because that's what the show's about. I think you're in the minority of thinking Hendo is no way back. Look, I very much appreciate, JD, that people see this situation differently. I'm a very moralistic person. It means a lot to me. I'm driven by my morals in life. And whilst I'm not always right, I do appreciate that there will be different viewpoints on the Jordan Henderson situation. But I don't, however, agree that I think I'm in the minority, that you think I'm in the minority of thinking there's no way back. There isn't. If you're Jurgen Klopp, JD, and you're looking at the Henderson situation, and he's told you flat out that he wants to move and take the money, do you think you can trust him as your captain? Truly, like, I've no doubts Henderson could be professional. I've no doubts that he could show up, train and play. But I disagree with you, my friend, that I'm in the minority. I think I amn't. Now, I think I'm in the minority with regards to how strongly I feel about it. Probably, yes. But I don't think I'm in the minority on there'll be no way back. Mark gifted a tier 1 membership. Thank you, Mark. Or tier 1, a membership, I should say. Still getting used to the difference of wordings between Twitch and YouTube, of course. Turing Bus says you're in the minority. Well, I don't think I am, mate. I don't think I am. And my bigger fear would be people being willing to accept them back. But look, we can discuss this, absolutely. You guys let me know in the chat. Do you think, would you have Henderson back as Liverpool captain? Yes or no? I think this is a fairly straightforward question. Elusive Glue, Jeff. Oh my god, that is a blast from the past, my man. Wow, Jeff. Dude, how are you? That is, wow. Jeff, somebody I remember from years and years being on this platform. He said, Craig, I'm so happy you're back to live streaming on YouTube. Love you. Love you too, pal. Thank you. It's great to be back. Can we do polls? Yeah, can we do polls on here? I'm not sure if we can do them or not. I'm still getting used to being back live streaming on YouTube. Evening, Craig. Such a wild transfer window. If Kimmich is available, we should be going all out for him. Much love, said Josh, who's been a member with us for 8 months from the Ultras. And we will touch on Kimmich, mate, I promise you. Right, so let's go through your comments. Is there a way back for Henderson? Would you take him back? Now, let me go through. So, Joe said no. Lufty said no. Amarali said no. There's a yes from Zakir. Not a chance, said Nunez. Finn said no. Hendo has been a legend and a servant, but it's time, said Jan. Yes, I would, said Racing Jaguar. There you go. Polls. Can we do polls? Yes or no? End poll. There we go. Right, so let's get a poll up on the go. Let's get a poll on Henderson then. Let's figure this one out. Can we do polls? Yes, we can end that poll because that's a silly poll. Let's get the Henderson poll up. Whoever's doing that in the background, can you please put up the Hendo poll? And then we'll see. Then we'll get a definitive answer if there's a way back. So, for the people that are saying 100% yes, is there anything that's not forgivable? Sincerely, genuine question. I think looking at what I'm seeing, I think I'm not in the minority, but there you go. Let him go, get somebody younger. Jamie Rennie, lovely to see you in as well, my man. What's the number for Lucho? We'll get to that, trust me. Surrenderson. Oh, I like that one, Marcus. I like that one. Well played. He said both armband and morals. There you go. Look, I do understand that there is a divide. And I have to say, as much as I'm disappointed in Henderson, I'm also disappointed, and I mentioned this yesterday, that he isn't going to get the send-off he deserves. Because I feel that Jordan Henderson's thrown away his Liverpool legacy to some extent. But I appreciate others see it differently. I'm also just sad that we're not going to get to give him what he deserves, which is that thank you for the service. So look, let's wait and see. There's a poll in the chat now. You are all absolutely free to vote in it, and I look forward to the outcome. It said, is there a way back for Jordan Henderson? Simple yes or no poll. Craig, would you be happy if we signed Kimmich? Right, I suppose we should segue into this, and we'll touch back on the poll in a couple of minutes to see how it's getting on. So, would I take Kimmich? In a normal window, my answer would be, I wouldn't mind him personally, but I can't see a world that Liverpool would bring in a 28-year-old. But we aren't in a normal window, my friends, right now. Right now, we're in a situation where we've got Fabinho and Henderson likely to leave, and that leaves us with a void of experience. So, Lavia and a Kimmich. Lavia and Sophie and Amrabat. I'd like a young and an old, is basically what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way. I'd like Liverpool to bring in the player who they had eyes on, which is, of course, Lavia, Romeo Lavia. Sorry, I'm gone blank for a second. So I'd like Liverpool to bring him in, but I do want a bit of experience alongside him. Now, whether that is a Kimmich or somebody else, I guess that's up for discussion. The thing about Kimmich is, though, I don't see a price anywhere for him. So there is an acceptance that he's for sale. That seems to be the case, but I've not seen a number for Joshua Kimmich. Matt Graham, thank you for the super chat, mate. He said, here with you all on YouTube. Love you, Craig. Thank you, mate. Love you too. Appreciate all your support as always. So, Lavia and Kimmich is perfect, said Robert Tring. Kimmich is so good, said Mortal Death. Oh, dude, I'm with you. With you on that one. Joshua Kimmich would be a fine addition, but can I be a bit of a shithouse and ask you a question? Joshua Kimmich or Paulinho, which one would you prefer? 28 years is not old. Well, tell that to John W. Henry, my friend. I'm with you. I think 28 is now the new 23, 24. So I'm definitely in agreement with you. But would you like Paulinho or Kimmich? Because they're the two names that I've seen mentioned with regards to 27, 28-year-olds. And we know that Paulinho has had an offer come his way that has been turned down by Fulham, a £45 million from West Ham. So you're probably going to have to pay a substantial bit more of that. Oh, wow, this is very, very one-sided, and I love it. I love it. I fucking love it when you guys are so decisive. Kimmich all the way, well in. And that's the right answer. Because with Joshua Kimmich, you've got the leadership. You've got the nous, the experience, the versatility that we know that Jurgen Klopp loves. So yeah, well done. Correct answer. Legends. All of it. I knew you knew your football. I knew you did. Now look, Paulinho's a fine player. Don't get me wrong. And for a 28-year-old, he's got some engine on him, and he doesn't look like he's got miles on the clock. He looks like he could do a job. Absolutely. But I'm in the Kimmich camp as well. But I wouldn't say no to either. You know, if Liverpool, I wake up tomorrow morning and Liverpool have signed either one of these gents, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it at all. So Kimmich and Lavia, can you imagine, just pushing aside what we think about with the season, just the vibes. Can you imagine the vibes in our fan base if Liverpool's summer transfer window ended with Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, Joshua Kimmich, Lavia, and we've moved on Naby Keita, who's already injured, Jimmy Milner, who's an incredible servant to our football club, but minutes were going to be limited, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who, you know, due to injuries, never really progressed past the first bright season he had. So, for me, look, you can talk about how it came about, and of course, having to maybe sell Fabinho isn't ideal, but you're refreshed there for the future, and it would be incredible. Somebody experienced now, Lavia for the future, said Aaron. Yes, I'm right with you on that, Aaron. And I knew we were vibing. I knew we were. I knew as soon as I came back onto YouTube, I'd get the geniuses, because that's what you are. You're all geniuses, honestly. The football knowledge that our community has, I like to think I know footy, but even I get taken aback by the amount of, I'm going to call it scouting, that you guys do, because the names thrown at me and the information thrown at me at times is mental. So, yeah, I'm with you. Somebody for the here and now, Lavia for the future. But we got to be quick, because Arsenal are showing serious intent here in this window. And obviously, if they can move Thomas Partey on, which it looks like they're going to, they're going to probably be after Lavia as well. Mark said thank you to everyone who's liked, subbed and shared. And yes, please do hit that subscribe button, because we're about 200 followers or subscribers away from 180k. Would love to do it on tonight's stream. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. Tomorrow, what can you expect? Well, you can expect a great watch along. We'll be starting from 5 p.m. tomorrow. The Reds' first pre-season friendly against Karlsruhe. Yeah, so we'll be here for that one. We'll be taking you through the watch along as always, and we'll have some videos and stuff after that. So look, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the first game back. It's been a long summer. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long summer, and I felt a little bit hard done by, because United have been playing, Newcastle have played their first preseason friendly, Arsenal have played, Bayern Munich won 197-0 or something today earlier on as well. So yeah, I'm just excited to get back to watching football. Jack, how are you? Jacko, how are you, mate? Thank you for saying hello. When am I coming to Wales? Paul, you might not believe me on this, but we're waiting for a confirmation email back from a venue for Wales for September for a live show. So as soon as I get it in the books and we can get the tickets out, I promise you I will tell you. I'm looking forward to it, though. I really want to get over to Cardiff and say hello to everybody. But if you do want to come and see us, don't forget, coming up in just over 2 weeks' time in Dublin, the Sugar Club. It's a kick-ass venue. It's a great little venue in Dublin. If you'd like to come and see us, you can get your tickets at thesugarclub.com, or in the description of this stream. You'll find the link there as well. It is the first ever live show, and it's going to be bedlam. That's the only thing I can say. And I don't know if I mean it in a good way or a bad way. All I can tell you is it's going to be bedlam. Aaron said, do you think Fofana's injury makes Colwell now unavailable? Unfortunately, I do. So I think most people will know what Aaron's speaking about. But if you don't, Wesley Fofana has undergone ligament surgery, which is going to rule him out for Chelsea for a while. So yes, unfortunately, mate, I do think that only makes it even harder for Liverpool to potentially prize Colwell away, which is disappointing, because it was already a tough sell to Chelsea. Now it's even tougher, and you can't blame them. If we were in Chelsea's shoes, I wouldn't want any of our boys going either. Will I be at the live show? Well, considering it's a one-man show and I am the show, I hope so, mate. I hope so. Sorry. Sugar Club is rotten. Sugar Club's brilliant. Jesus, do you know what? I don't understand you negative fuckers. Honestly, if you don't like it, you don't want to come, that's on you, my man. That's no problem whatsoever. But Sugar Club is an absolutely top-notch venue. And to say otherwise is just wrong, man. It's class. Right, but anyway, I'm going to get stuck into today's news. So bear with me. Right, I've got a name for you. We've spoken about Kimmich tonight. We've spoken about Lavia. We've spoken about Polinia. But somebody else who's been on our radar for a little bit that we haven't discussed is Coop Miners from Atalanta. And I heard Gasparini speaking the other day saying that, they've already had a tough of players to potentially lose. But Liverpool's interest in Coop Miners is sincere. I just don't know if it'll end up with an offer going in. So I want to know what you guys feel about it. And I will move on to speak about Lucho next. So don't go anywhere, because Diaz we will be talking about next. But Coop Miners, what are we saying? Would you take him? I think he's a very solid player. And I would. This article from the Eye says that Liverpool have been watching him for the last 12 months, and that it fits the possible profile of midfielders who could be drafted in as a potential replacement for Jordan Henderson. Alex Alvarado, thank you, mate. Appreciate you with the super sticker, I think it is. Thank you, mate. AI Craig. Dude, if I thought I'd get away with it, absolutely. Can you behind the scenes vlog? So what we're going to do for the Cardiff show is we're going to do a documentary on it. We're going to do a full build up if we do the Cardiff show. Yeah, proper video and stuff. So yes. So let's move on to talk about Lucho, right? We've talked about Coop Miners for a second, but I know people are coming in because they want to find out about Lucho Diaz. So if this hadn't come from such a reliable source on Lucho, I don't know if I'd really pay much attention to it. But you've got not just Paul Joyce, who is the Donny for all things Liverpool. You've also got Pipi Sierra, who has his finger on the pulse and broke the story about Lucho coming to Liverpool. So to see him linked with a move to Al Hilal, I don't know how worried we should be, but I do feel a little bit worried. Because if they're thinking about 50 million at the top as the opening offer, how high are they willing to go? How much money have they got available to them? Because 50 million won't do it. And nor do I want us to be selling Lucho Diaz. But 50 million ain't going to cut it. So do you guys think that there's a number that would be possible to Liverpool to sell? Because the way I'm looking at it, Klopp's already had a few surprise headaches sprung on him. We don't need another one. He's just been given the number 7 shirt at Liverpool. Darwin's just been given the number 9 shirt at Liverpool. We've got a new number 8. We've got a new number 10. And I don't see Liverpool looking or being willing to sell these guys at any point. So I don't think there's a number this summer. I don't. Unless you're talking astronomical, batshit crazy amounts. I don't see the number. 250 mil for Lucho. 100, said Chris. 90 to 110, said my name is Cram. 150 million, said Mortal Death. Well, to give you an indication, Transfermarkt have a value of about 75 million euro on Lucho's head. Now, considering Liverpool paid up to 48 million, including the add-ons, I don't think anything less than 70 or 80 is even a conversation starter for Liverpool. But we can't ignore that Lucho has a little bit left to prove as well. He had some ups and downs last season, started brightly, had that injury, of course, and then struggled to really get his form back at the end of the season, especially in the goal scoring department. I'd like to see a little bit more from him this season on that one. Chop said he'd sell for 65 or 70. 60 million for Mies. 80 to 100 million for Justin Freeman. We lost Ugarte. I don't think we were ever really in for Ugarte, and that pisses me off. Did that annoy anyone else? Because it really wound me up. You look at Manuel Ugarte and you think to yourself, he is an ideal player for Liverpool. On top of the Darwin connection, obviously, both being Uruguayans, I would have thought that was a natural signing for Liverpool to look and go after. So to hear that we weren't one of the clubs in the mix was really weird. Because I thought he'd been a perfect profile. Got to be a minimum of 90, said Turing Bus. That poll is still up on the Henderson situation. We've left it up for quite a while at this point. It's had over 1,000 votes. So I'm going to leave it up for a couple more minutes and then we'll end it. So if you do want to have your say, polls there. Right, more news. Fabio Carvalho got off to a great start, by the way, for RB Leipzig. Today scored a goal for them in their 7-0 win over FC Grima. Here's a question, and I'm aiming this at people who are maybe German, Spanish, Italian. Why do so many, I'm going to stick with German and Italian clubs, play really pointless friendlies? Like, what did Bayern Munich learn from that 20-something nil win earlier on? What was the point of it? I don't see what they learned from it. I don't see how it's beneficial in any way. You go out there and humiliate a load of, I guess, part-timers. I just don't see what's the point of it. The money that Saudi are throwing at players is mad, said Alex Cooper. Alex, it's scary. It's scary because there doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason to it. And that's what worries me. So if we look at any other league when they come in to buy a player, be it, I don't know, Real Madrid, Barcelona, these clubs have to at least try and make a profit. They have to at least try to make stuff work. This isn't the case, though, when you've got clubs that are clearly just being funded by a government or by the leaders of Saudi Arabia. It removes jeopardy from it, so it's extra scary for me because of that. Jake said, love the show. Even the Arsenal girlfriend is a huge fan. That's awesome, man. Thank you. And thank you to your girlfriend for watching as well. I think he deserves a little bit of something special, don't you know? A little extra kiss or something for having great taste. It's all about the money and sponsorship for Bayern. Yeah, Bayern are a very well run club, to be fair. And I love that they don't fleece their fans for ticket prices and stuff. I remember, I think it was, I can't remember which one of the executives it was, said before, yeah, we could make more money. We could charge a few quid more, make a few more million, but what's the point? I like that attitude. They're looking after the supporters. Right, I think we've left that Henderson poll up long enough, so let's end it and we'll see the result. So it ended up, is there a way back for Jordan Henderson at Liverpool? No, 60%. Yes, 39%. And obviously there's a little 1% margin there. So to people that said to me I'm in the minority, I'm not. I'm very much in the majority. Most people feel there isn't a way back. And I'll go even further in what I'm going to say. The people who voted yes, I'm immediately discounting 15% of that as non-Liverpool fans taking the piss. So I think the actual number is probably even a little bit higher. Do I want Diaz to leave? God, no. No, Tracy. I love the forwards we have at Liverpool at the minute. Like, if you look across Europe, I think we're pretty well placed. Diogo Jota, Lucho Diaz, Mohamed Salah, Darwin, Gakpo. I mean, that's pretty good, right? That's a five I'm very happy to get behind. And yeah, I'm delighted. So no, I absolutely wouldn't be selling them. I wouldn't sell anybody at this point. Look, the Fabinho thing came about, and in all honesty, I think it probably came about a season too early, but are we ever going to get 40 million for Fabinho again? Probably not. So I do understand the club taking that offer. I have to say, I do understand it. But it's the replacement. And what I want to figure out from you good people is, do you think Klopp's plans have had to change since, I'm going to say, the Henderson and Fabinho situation? Because we were very clear, very strategic at the start of the window. We went out, we got Alexis McAllister, we got Dominic Szoboszlai, and then we were waiting, and we thought we were assessing a Lavia situation. We were, of course, looking at the Colwill situation. But I wonder now, has there been an adjustment? Are they kind of working on the fly now, knowing that we'll have to replace some of the leadership that we're losing? And maybe this is where the conversation around Joshua Kimmich comes in, and why we're all so willing and happy at the idea of us being linked to Kimmich. Because if you brought in Lavia and Kimmich, I think you've ticked both boxes there. You know, you've probably brought in a more well-rounded replacement for Henderson if you brought Kimmich in. And with Lavia, you future-proofed yourself for the defensive midfield role. Fuentino said 100%, thrown his plans off completely. Sir Oswald Fortitude said Kimmich is the light, the truth, and the way. I like that. It's not just he's a good player. The man's the light, the truth, and the way. I like it. I think we may see two midfielders and no centre-back. Very interesting shout there, X-Pulse you. Because I've had a similar worry about the centre-back situation. Because what we know about Jurgen Klopp is he doesn't just sign players for the sake of it, right? He doesn't just go out there and get the fourth or fifth choice on his list. He's willing to hold on. And if he has Levi Colwill firmly in his sights, I mean, I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility to think that he could hang on another year. Particularly if Matip stays and he allows Matip to see out his contract. I don't think it's the right decision, let me say. I do think that there are other left-sided defensive targets that we could go after. And again, if something happened to Verge, we're in trouble on the left side of centre-back. How do I pronounce this one? Oh God, how am I going to pronounce it? Sami Samchi? From a Bayern fan, respect Liverpool winning trophies without oil money. By the way, Kimmich is not coming. No way he wants to be the future Bayern captain. There's plenty of talk, my friend, about him being sold or available to be sold. I'm sure you've seen it yourself, being a Bayern fan. Himself and Leon Goretzka were the two names that, you know, have been told apparently there's an opportunity to sell them. Now, I'm off only going what I'm seeing in the media. You probably have a much closer view of this than me because I don't pay attention to Bayern stuff too much. Aaron Staunton, welcome, my friend, to Anfield Agenda FC. Pleasure to have you with us, and thank you for your support. What's your front three versus Chelsea? So, I think you're going to disagree with me on this, my friends, but I'm convinced we're going to see a very special Darwin this season. Like, I'm absolutely convinced of it. So, for that reason, my front three would be Salah on the right-hand side, Gakpo through the centre, and I'm going to say I'd go with Darwin on the left. And I know I'm probably in the minority there. I know people will probably rather Diaz on the left and Darwin through the centre, but I just think Gakpo is undroppable through the centre at the minute because he's taken to that role like a duck to water. And then it's a straight fight out for me on the left side between Darwin and Lucho. Now, Lucho's probably your safer bet for an opening game against Chelsea away from home because he's a bit more disciplined inside the system. But I don't know, I just have big expectations for Darwin this season. Alex Alvarado, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Said, are you hopeful that we can get Tchouaméni if Real go in for Mbappe? And you should do a show in the US. I'd buy tickets in a heartbeat. Boston's on the list, my friend. Boston is definitely on the list. So, you know me, I'd love to get back over to the US, my friend. And yeah, hopefully that'll happen. But thank you for the super chat. And on Tchouaméni, look, if there was any inclination or indication that that Real Madrid would be willing to accept an offer, I think we'd be there at the front of that queue. We know Jurgen's admiration for the player, but I've also seen the player himself make it pretty clear he wants to stay at Real Madrid, and pretty clear by liking posts that suggest that he's not going anywhere. So, unfortunately, I think that's in the not going to happen category. There was another super chat from Mutz. Do you know what? I didn't even have to look, Mutz, at your name to know it was you. Your Avi is one that is just ingrained in my head from all the years you've been on YouTube, mate, with us. So that's weird. It's great that there's such familiarity. I'm still remembering the people who I maybe haven't seen in live chats for a year. Welcome home, Craig. I love that. Thank you. A bad reason for bringing in Amrabat would be losing him to AFCON like Mo. That would put me off. Thoughts? It's certainly a concern. You are right. But what I would say is, I think we could cover if we don't have an injury crisis at that point. So if we bring in a more experienced player like an Amrabat, I'm fully expecting Lavia to still happen. So we'd still have Lavia, we'd still have Bajcetic, we'd still have Thiago. And I think for that month we could cover. But it's a fair point. And I'm a little bit annoyed at the AFCON, in all honesty, because I was much happier when they'd moved it back to a summer tournament. Now, I understand climates and stuff like that makes them have to change, but yeah, a bit disappointed that it's back to January. Glenn, thank you for your super chat, sir. Very kind. Said, hi, mate. Hope you're well. I'm tickety-boo, sir. Hope life is treating you well. So great to have you back. We're going to win the Prem, Europa, FA and League Cup treble. Here we come. Have a beer on me. I fucking love it. I love it, Glenn. I love it, dude. Yes, I'm fully convinced we're winning the Europa as well, Glenn. Not as bold as yourself on the league prediction, but you never know. I think we earned up this season with a trophy, though. A decent trophy. Alex Cooper said, personally hope we keep Fabinho. Look, I would have kept him in an ideal world, Alex. I would. Because you wouldn't want to lose that experience right now. But I also think it's an offer the club couldn't turn down. And if you get the indication from the player that he'd like to move, which I'm sure must have happened here, I think Jurgen has to do what's best for Liverpool. And in this scenario, it's take the money and move the player on. But I think we're getting a good number. 40 million for me, I think, is a very fair amount of money for Fabinho. In fact, I think they're overpaying a little bit, in all honesty. Rita says, Szoboszlai can play all over the pitch. Yes, brilliant. Brilliant player, very versatile, can fill in on the right for Salah, can play anywhere across the midfield, can play in the 10. And I'm expecting him to do bits this season. Yeah, I'm so fucking excited, lads, about the season. Rabadan, another blast from the past. So happy you're back on YouTube. I struggle with Twitch. Thank you for your continued support as well, dude. Appreciate you. You've been with us for a long time. Why did you switch back to YouTube, if I may ask? Couple of reasons. Reason number one, and one of the big ones, is we had an exclusivity deal with Twitch for a year. And basically, Twitch paid us a set amount of money every month as long as we streamed a certain number of hours. That came to an end. We also brought somebody onto the Anfield Agenda team in the background, and this person specializes in YouTube content and algorithms and search words and all that kind of stuff. So I felt like it would just be silly of me not to play to the strengths of the people around me. So that's it in a nutshell, really. Emma, thank you for gifting an Anfield Agenda membership. Really kind of you. Glenn, again, believe, damn it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not with you on the league, Glenn, yet, but I'm optimistic as hell going into this season. I really am. Right, Polcard said, Craig, quick question. Do you think Darwin deserves the number 9? He hasn't done enough yet, I think. Should have given it to Gakpo. So I do hear where you're coming from. But I think 14 goals in his debut season is not too shabby. But I think you have to look at it for the boost of confidence this is going to give him. The shoulder around the arm, the injection of positivity, whatever way you want to phrase it yourself. And I hope that gives us the rewards that I think it was meant to do. He strikes me, and I don't know the man personally, but he strikes me as a very confidence-inspired type player. Somebody who needs the arm around the shoulder, somebody who needs the reassurance from the fans, from the manager, that we believe in him. And I think he'll score in bursts, and he does things on instinct. And if he does them on instinct, they go well. And if he has time to think, that's where I think we've got some problems. So I think this is as much a confidence thing for Darwin as anything. And I'm fully behind giving him the number 9. Do I have a starting 11 for tomorrow? Nah, man, I don't even know what to expect from tomorrow. It's impossible to predict these things in the preseason friendlies. Ball McPrebin said Ben Doak. Oh, I'm happy to talk about Ben Doak. Like, I know at times it's easy to get carried away with youngsters. And we all do it. I've done it, you've done it, United fans have done it, Arsenal fans have done it. We all do it. We get carried away. But I think this dude, Ben Doak, he is legit. He is the real deal. He just does not have fear. He just plays, and I love it. I love watching him. I love the freedom he plays with. I love the arrogance or the petulance of youth, as I like to say. So, yeah, I can't wait for Ben Doak, but I don't think we should push him. FPL League. Yes, we do have an FPL League, and I don't have the link to hand at the moment. Maybe one of our mods has it and can post it, but you're all very welcome into it. Absolutely. The FPL League's open to everybody. Right, more news. More stuff that I haven't gone through yet. 1 second. So this caught my eye today from David Lynch. And David has said, and again, I'd love your feedback on this. It feels more likely that a left field solution, left field meaning, by the way, in case there's something lost in translation, not left side of field, but just an unusual or something we haven't thought of or spoken about. Left field solution to the unexpected problem of losing a holding midfielder will suddenly emerge rather than one of the aforementioned players being signed. Now, I don't know if this is coincidental. So you have David Lynch saying he expects a left field signing, right? I highlighted one comment to you guys yesterday from Melissa Reddy, remember? Where the end of Melissa Reddy's post on Sky and her tweet was something along the lines of, Liverpool love a stealth signing. So I wonder if something lined up. I wonder, do they know something we don't know? Because could be coincidence. Very much could be. Or it could be that we're about to get sprung a surprise. And there's nothing we love more than that, boom, it's done signing. Here's Virgil van Dijk. Here's Diogo Jota. Here's Fabinho and his missus on a plane on the way to Liverpool. You know, they're the signings to me that really excite me, where we don't have time to dwell on them. We don't have time to build up the hype or talk about it or drag it out. It happens. We love it. We celebrate it. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Are you open to making an EAFC channel? Would love to see you put 7 past Goldbridge. Also, what's the funny weird beef you have with the Irishman? Oh, you mean Irish guy? Oh, no beef with me and Michael. No, that's just friendly banter, man. Me and Michael, the Irish guy, get on great, and I've nothing but lovely things to say about him. He's a top fella. EAFC, I promised my chat that I would stream FIFA, but what I will likely do is stream the FIFA on Twitch, and then I have a second channel that's called Only Craig, that used to be Mundo Sporto, and we're going to upload the highlights and stuff to that. So I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm absolutely horrendous at FIFA, but I promised I'd stream it, so I'm going to stream it, and don't expect much other than me shouting at myself, pulling up the wrong menus, calling myself sausage fingers. Super socially awkward, so this is me saying hello. Glenn, and anybody that feels that way, you don't have to feel that way in our community, man. I don't give a shit where you're from. I don't care if you're quiet. You are welcome in with us, my friend. And it's a pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for your support. And please don't feel any need to be awkward with us. We're all fucked up, dude, in our own beautiful, unique ways. Hello, Craig. It's Oshmoose. Oh my god, another name from the past on another account. 2K viewers is amazing. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on now at the minute. Like I don't deserve these numbers. You know, this is little old us, small Anfield Agenda. But I think our family's growing, you know. I think people are enjoying the community, and I'm very proud of you all. Will we get any money for Gomez? Said Andy Hughes. So, weird one, Andy, but I kind of didn't understand why we renewed Joe Gomez's contract. Unless it was to protect the value. Because with Joe Gomez, what we have is somebody who, even at 20, what is he, 25 now? 24, 25. Somebody who's still relatively young in the grand scheme of things for a centre-back, but has a wealth of experience and can cover at right-back. But weirdly, I don't see him ever really being a starter again. And I don't know if that's because how unlucky he's been with injuries. I also have concerns of his ball watching at times, and I felt more comfortable with him covering at right back lately when he's done that for Trent. So I look, put it this way, Glenn. I'd love to see how Liverpool would react if an offer came in. That would that would be interesting. See how Liverpool would act then. How come Liverpool's transfer marked page isn't really updated with all these reports? I don't know, mate. I can't answer that one for you, and I don't work for Transfermarkt. You're the best, Craig. Absolute legend. Well, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, pretty fucking awesome. Jokes, jokes. Would you sell Costas? Oh, that's a tough one, Justin. Would I sell Costas? So this is my view on Costas. I don't think he's ever going to displace Andy Robertson long term, even though he's younger. So in that regard, if an offer came in that Liverpool thought it was fair, maybe. But I wouldn't be actively looking to sell him because we'd still have the headache of needing cover on the left side. And I think Costas is fine cover. So no, I wouldn't look to sell him. In fact, I wouldn't look to sell anybody else in this window because we need to be bringing in players. And we haven't spoken about that enough. We need to be adding to the squad now, not losing more players. We're already down on last season. If you look at the amount of midfields we had versus the amount we have now, and then we have to look at the Fabinho and Jordan Henderson situation and then potentially moving on. LSR said, "Hi Craig, I'm new. Welcome in, great to have you with us. Welcome to the family. The Greek Scouser needs to stay. Look, I feel like we need a compromise on this. How about this? Costas can stay, but no man bun. No more man bun, Costas. The baby man bun's got to go. I'd give Luke Chambers a chance. So, Luke Chambers. I'm trying to remember where the interest was in Chambers. Because I was reading an article on him the other day and how highly he was thought about the club. But I swear that there was an offer about to come in for him. Or somebody wanted to take him on loan. It was Leverkusen, wasn't it? It was Xavi Alonso who wanted to take him to Leverkusen. So I think that would be a great move for him on loan. What's all this about Lucho? Happy to go back over it, no problem. So Pipe Sierra, who's somebody that was very early and very good on all things Lucho, said the interest of Al Hilal and Luis Diaz is real. However, no offer has come to Liverpool, but at the moment the club has no intention to sell the player, and he speaks about Paul Joyce being in on this information with him. He said, in addition, the Reds consider that 50 million would be a very low offer. And I agree, because he's improved since he's come to Liverpool, so I think 50 million is too low of an offer. And I hope they don't come back. And I hope we don't have to lose or potentially lose another player we don't want to lose. Because the days of us being a selling club, we were told were behind us. Now, every player has a number and you have to be realistic. But I've been very appreciative of the fact that we haven't been bullied by anybody in the transfer market for a few years. And I love that we go into the transfer market and we don't have to fear losing our best players anymore. And we haven't done it for a while. So I don't want us to start going back to being a potential selling club now. Fabinho news, just a recent update. So on Fabinho, look, things are progressing and it will happen by the looks of it. There's no signs that deal is in trouble. So he will become is it Al Ittihad or Al Ittihad? I can't remember the name of the club, but he will complete that move. Name 5 players you would sell at Liverpool. I don't know if there's 5 that I would. Kai, in honesty, mate, thank you for the super chat. If you can let me cheat and say Henderson and Fabinho, I'll try to come up with another few. The fact that Adrian San Miguel was given a new contract where he actually gets paid human money baffles me, but okay. Reece Williams I would have sold instead of loaning. Nat Phillips I'm open to selling. I hope that Leeds move goes through for him. I'm not against selling Joe Gomez if the club had an alternative centre back to come in, but with Joe you also do get the cover at right back, so Tyler Morton I'd sell. I can't personally see Tyler Morton doing what we need him to do in midfield. So yeah, I wouldn't be moving on any real guaranteed starters. No, not at all. Do you consider Fabinho as a club legend? I'm going to say no, but it has nothing to do with the move changing my mind. I just don't feel 5 years and I don't feel legend is the right word. Am I grateful to him for his service? Absolutely, 100%. But nah, not a legend. Like for me, Salah's only getting to the legend stage now. But I'm very picky about what I'd say is a legend. Ben Pagan, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. Said, hi, Craig. This is my first stream back since the switch back from Twitch, and the difference in numbers in the new stream is crazy. Well in, mate. I know, it freaked me out, Ben, because we had a conversation behind the scenes yesterday where they said, what do you think for tonight's stream? First one back on YouTube. And I thought I was being okay saying 600-700. Other people in our team were saying 200 to 400. So when we were doing the show last night and it hit like 2,500, I was, do you know what? I was nervous, Ben. I was nervous. That's the truth. Alberto said, Craig, are you worried we haven't brought in midfield reinforcements with less than a month to the first match at Stamford Bridge? Yes, I am. So look, I think we'll all agree the ones we've brought in, Albert, are amazing. I mean, I have no complaints about Szoboszlai, McAllister. In fact, I think they're brilliant signings. But yeah, this little lull that we have now, I can't say it isn't concerning me, because Lavia, I was told, is the one, and that's where we're going to go for, and I still hope and think that'll be the case. But we do need a fourth. I don't think we can get a third and be happy. I think we need to get the fourth. So yeah, but I also do agree with a lot of people are worrying about the centre back, because I've not really seen much on a centre back. We know all the obvious names that we've spoken about many times. Do you think Henderson is a Liverpool legend? So with him, I very much am going to take the move to Saudi into account and say that he's thrown legend status in the bin. Will I always be grateful to him for his work at the club? Yes, of course. Um, but I find it very saddening how it's ending, because he should end his career at Liverpool like a legend. He should be remembered like a legend, but unfortunately, I feel like he won't be. Um, yeah, sadly. Uzar Hussein said, "Love you, Craig. Favorite channel on YouTube." Can I say one thing? You guys have made this so easy, and by that I mean I was fearing the worst coming back to YouTube. I was fearing trolling, harassing, you're a prick, that type of stuff. And to say I've been blown away and humbled and stopped in my tracks by your kindness, I can't thank you enough. You know, you've made this really easy for me, the transition back across. So, yeah, much love. Thank you. Craig, will we announce a midfielder before the end of this week's? I don't know, Mr. Hussein. I can't give you an answer because I truly don't know. Would you take LaCroix at Liverpool? What, like the drink? Sorry, dude. When you say LaCroix, I'm opening a can of the drinky drink. I don't know who he is. Hendo is a legend in my eyes. Look, I'm not here to tell you how to view people, buddy. You're entitled to form your own opinions on Henderson, and what I say to you shouldn't make a jaw. But the people like Triggerman that said I'm harsh, let me explain why I feel so harsh about it. I view Jordan Henderson as more than just a Liverpool captain. I view Jordan Henderson and idolise Jordan Henderson for the man that he was, the ally that he was, the person who spoke out against a lack of inclusivity in our game and sport, and that always made me immensely proud of him wearing our armband, leading our club. So when you talk about him leaving under the circumstances he might be leaving, I just find it very disheartening because, and look, this is on me, not on him, because maybe I expected too much from him in that regard. But you also have to remember that he was held on a pedestal by the media, by us, by organisations that are promoting inclusivity in sport and in football. And he made a lot of money from that. And he got a lot of positive PR from that. And he got a lot of endorsements from that. But he isn't that guy. So that's what I find disappointing about it. And that's when people say he's a legend. I'm sorry, but I want my legends to be better. I want my legends to be like a Roger Federer. That's a legend. That's a sporting legend that you can look at and just think he's amazing on every level. And I thought we had that with Jordan Henderson. So to me, I've taken it very personally. And I probably shouldn't. You know, this is on me, not on Jordan Henderson. Craig, you're so funny and true. It will be a good night out. I know that. Oh, the live show, dude, is going to be fun. It is going to be fun. I was at my psychologist today preparing myself because, like, as much as I'm used to doing this, the idea of standing on a stage petrifies me. So, yeah, I was working with my psychologist today to get into the right headspace for the live shows because I just want to feel free and loose up there, you know? I want to be as carefree as I am here speaking with you guys. Can I do a backflip? Do I look like I can do a backflip, my man? Nah. I mean, nah. No, definitely not. Not even when I was fit could I do a backflip. Do I think Soboslai could be better than Stevie G? Wash your fucking mouth out. No, I don't. But I don't think anybody on a football pitch is going to be better than Steven Gerrard in my head. Now, Steven Gerrard, the man, I have a different conversation about, but Steven Gerrard, what he did at Liverpool as a player, oh, De Bruyne is the only thing I've seen that even comes to the same category for me. But I do think that Dominic Szoboszlai will be incredible, and I think we're in for a fun ride. I think we've got ourselves an unbelievable player. Some mad lunatic tried to say to me the other day, all you've done is go out there and buy a Leipzig squad player for 60 million. A what now? If you think that Dominic Szoboszlai is a squad player, you're in for a rude awakening, and we're in for some fun. Craig, are you going to Dublin? Oh yeah, there you see. Sugar Club. Tickets are on sale. August the 4th. Really hope you guys can come, and let me know if you are in the chat and you have got tickets. Let me know, because yeah, it's nerve-wracking. I've never put on tickets for a show before because, look, it's me. Who the fuck? You know what I mean? Why am I putting on a show? But I was talked into it, so let's see. I hope you guys come. It's an over-18s event. It is at the Sugar Club. It is on August the 4th, which is a bank holiday weekend. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You can get your tickets to thesugarclub.com, or there's a link in the description. Come to Boston. It's in the works. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, mate. It's in the works. You would be amazed how many people in our community live in Boston. It was nuts. We had this conversation in the chat one day, and it was just like, yeah, I'm from Boston, or I'm at least from Massachusetts, and not Boston, but I'm up the road. Would you take Emre Can back? I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. But, you know, I don't have any bad feelings towards Emre Can for him leaving the club and all. So I'm somebody that looks at it this way, right? If you're a player and you're at a club and you fulfill your contract, which Emre Can did, that's all we can ask. You know, because it's a ruthless old business, both ways. And sometimes clubs move players on, sometimes it's the other way around. But Emre Can fulfilled his contract. So I'm always fine with that. Are diabetics allowed to go? Yeah, of course. Yeah, and there's pizza. They do pizza at the venue. So, yeah, look, this is what the live show is going to be like. It's going to be a 2-hour show. And after the show ends, I'm coming into the audience. I'm coming down for a drink and a chat. None of this selling fucking meet and greet bullshit tickets. I'm coming down to my people for a chat. And we're going to sit there and have a few drinks together and have a chat. And I'm going to say thank you to everybody. Because that's what this is about for me, to thank you for everything. What's the Mbappe story? I don't have an Mbappe story, Mr. H. Sorry. I wish I bleeding did have an Mbappe story. Do you think Trent should be captain if Hendo leaves? He's one of many candidates, Kai. From my own personal preference would be Andy Robertson. But Trent, Robbo, VVD, Alisson, Mohamed Salah, I mean, I'm fine. They're all good candidates. The Sugar Club, that's why diabetics. Oh, sorry, man. That went over my head, Jay. That went over my head, dude. This is why you can still see the nervousness in me, right? Coming back onto YouTube. That went over. That's a joke I should be getting, Jay. Can you come to Carlo? No. Why would I go to Carlo? I've been in Carlo. I lived beside... I'm only joking. No plans at the minute, mate. The Guinness tap will be on overdrive for sure. We love that. Get it into you. Now look, can I ask you a question, right? You're a Guinness drinker, and maybe more Guinness drinkers in the chat. Are there people in the Anfield Agenda community who go out for a night, maybe they're driving, so they're on the non-alcoholic stuff, but I'm somebody who doesn't drink, right? I drink twice a year maybe, so I drive everywhere I go, and never once would it pop into my noggin to go out and have a pint of alcoholic or non-alcoholic Guinness or lager. I'd have a Diet Coke. What about you guys? Do you buy into the non-alcoholic stuff? Because I always find it weird. Like, you see ads for non-alcoholic gin. What? That's the whole point. If you're not getting drunk, what's the point? Because a milkshake, a smoothie, a soft drink, they all taste nicer. Brads, do you think we will have will be a big season for Ben Doak? That's such a tough question, because initially I want to say yes. And I think the fact that we're in the Europa League will actually benefit Ben Doak this season. But I also don't want to put too much pressure on him. But it could be big, right? Because he's the real deal. So I hope he gets Europa League minutes, League Cup minutes. And if he proves himself in the Europa League group stages and in the early rounds of the League Cup, well, maybe there's an argument for him to get game time when Salah's away then, if he's proved himself in these. You see where I'm going with it? So, I don't want to put pressure on him, but I also won't be surprised if it is a big season for him. Any news on Colwell and Thuram, said Alex Cooper. Thank you again for the super chat, Alex. Levi Colwell looks like it's going to be even more difficult now. I'm sure you're aware that Fofana is out for a few months or a while with ligament damage. He had an operation. So that makes Chelsea one down already in defence. And I can't see how they're going to go into the season and allow Colwell to go. So unfortunately, I think that could put the kibosh on the immediate deal. Got tickets to Dublin, flying from London to see you. Nah, Rita, come on. Are you really? Wow. So that's people coming from the Netherlands, from America, from Scotland, from London. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. Other than, no pressure. No pressure. Oh my God. Now see, that I say that and that sounds mad, right? But I do the same thing. Like, I've gone to England to see people that I like. But, you know, somebody to do that for you, to come and see you, Jesus, that's... Wow. I don't know what I've done to deserve that, but thank you. Do you think Gakpo deserved number 9? No. I mean, no, because I'd be freaked out seeing Gakpo in number 9. And I think Darwin needs the arm round the shoulder and the bit of confidence. You get me, Holmesy? And I think Darwin is... I mean, this narrative that Darwin had a terrible first season, I don't understand. Because I think 14 goals in your first seasons is respectable. It's on a par with Mane in his first season. It's around Luis Suarez numbers, I think, in his first season at Liverpool. So I certainly didn't feel like we were hard done by. I felt like there were some things he could have done better. Like, he didn't need the red card. That was just petulance. And there were some chances he missed that we can't deny. But the thing that wound me up most about Darwin was the timing of the runs. Cut offside way too many times for me. Just an unacceptable level of times. So if he can work on the English, work on the relationships with the midfielders and his other forwards, and once he gets on that same wavelength, I'm expecting him to tear it up and do well. What shirt number would I wear? 1, because I'd be a goalkeeper. So it's fairly easy. But if I was an outfield player, I wore 11 when I played outfield. I played on the left wing for the team a year above my age group when they were short. So I guess 11. Who starts in the DM position versus Chelsea if we just sign Lavia in midfield? I agree with what you've written, Mr. Hussein. I agree with Thiago and Trent. I'm with you 100% on that. You can't be throwing Stefan in there away at Stamford Bridge. You need your bit of experience. You're going to have Alexis ahead, who has some experience in the league, and I would have said Henderson would start that game if Henderson was still at the club. I had always got in my head that we'll see Henderson start the first game of the season against Chelsea, because Szoboszlai, you know, you want to ease him in. Now, though, I think what you've said is right. Thiago, Trent, McAllister, Szoboszlai. And look, you can make a very good case for putting Jones in one of those front attacking midfield positions as well, based on his own great work. Would you throw the 2 new boys in against Chelsea straight away? Ideally, no. But Luka needs must, and without having Henderson and Fabinho, I don't see what else we can really do but throw them in. What's the story with Mateusz Muzialowski, the Polish Messi, being sold? So, like yourself, Nikki, I seen a piece a few weeks ago that said that Liverpool are open to offers for him if they come in, and that Liverpool would be willing to potentially move him on, which is really disappointing, because when we signed Mateusz Muzialowski, we were you know, buzzing because we thought we'd signed this wonder kid. But I don't know, for whatever reason it hasn't worked out. I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know. I don't know is the truth. But, sometimes you just have to draw a line under it and say, all right, it hasn't worked. And unfortunately, in this case, I think Liverpool are willing to do that if an offer comes in. Sangar from PSV, Decore from Crystal Palace have been linked. So the Decore one's very interesting, and I'd love to get your take on this, chat, because I have to admit to being a little bit naive about the quality of Decore, but he was Palace's player of the season last year. I think he's still 23. Am I right in that? About 23 years of age. He's signing from, I think, Lens for £21 million. So it could be my own arrogance of the fact that he's a Palace player that initially made me think, not good enough. So I'm willing to be wrong, but I'm also, I'm wondering what you guys think. What is going on with Kylian? Are you talking about Mbappe? If you're talking about Mbappe, Ben, somebody mentioned that earlier on. Dude, I honestly haven't got a clue. I haven't been paying much attention to Mbappe. I know we were supposed to be meeting the president of PSG today, but other than that, I don't know. Yves Moylan, thank you so much for becoming a member of Anfield Agenda FC. Appreciate your support, really do. Craig, have McAllister and Szoboszlai in midfield and Trent and CDM, then sign a right back? This is going to sound really hypocritical, but I don't know about Trent in the six on his own. In this hybrid role, I'm more than comfortable with it. But I still think if we put Trent in the six, we still have the same positional and defensive concerns that we would have at right back. So I think if he's alongside somebody else and he can impact the game from an offensive standpoint from the middle, I feel a lot more comfortable. I'm not at a point where I feel comfortable with him being the sole number 6. But that could be just me. Again, just my take on it. Thoughts on the Ox going to Sheffield United? Is he? The last I'd seen from him, Kirk, was a link to Villa. But yeah, look, experience for Sheffield United coming back to the Premier League. Somebody like him, if they can get him to stay fit, yeah. Did you see Bayern won 27-0? I mean, what's the point of that football with Ben? I was speaking about it earlier on. Do you learn anything from that? I mean, you could make the argument it's just stretching their legs, but still, you'd want them to play a higher caliber opposition. Have I ever been to America? Yeah. Been to America, I think 6 times. Hope to get back next year with the family. So yeah. Any transfer news? Honestly, Adam, it's a quiet day from that regard. There's some stuff about Henderson, Fabinho, but not really a whole lot with regards to incomings. Any more on Kelleher? Nope. Again, I don't think anybody have met Liverpool's 20 million pound valuation. I don't know why 50. I'm getting confused by a thumbnail. Yeah, I don't think anyone has met that valuation yet. But you can't stand in his way if the offer does come in because, he wants to play football. Was Twitch not paying the bills enough? Short answer, no. No. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're trying to be a smart arse and have a dig at me there, but like anybody else, mate, I'm trying to change my family's life. I've got employees on board. I have to do what's right for the channel as a whole. I have to do what's right for me. And money isn't what motivates me, but it is part of the conversation. So I've got to make sure it's the right move for all of us. But yeah, unlike others, mate, I'm an open book. I'm happy to be open about anything. Yeah, 50 million for Kelleher, mortal death will be good business. I was losing the run of myself there. 80 million for Diaz, are you taking it? Yes, I would. Yeah. It's not ideal. It's not the right time. But as you said there, 80 million I would consider a ridiculous number. So, yes, I would take 80 million. But we're not going to get an offer of 80 million. And I also don't want us to lose him. So, win-win there. But I'm always honest. Like, I could sit here and give you the stock answer of no, no, no. But 80 million? 80 million I would consider. How long is the stream tonight? I don't know. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at you guys. And I don't really have a... I'm under instruction to keep it to an hour or less. But you know me. I like to keep waffling and keep chatting away. So let me just say this. We're really closing in on 180,000 subscribers. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please take a second and hit it. We're getting really close there. 80 million is not ridiculous. I don't think it's ridiculous. But it's a number that would pique my interest, Miroslav. I'm being honest. 80 million is a number I would consider. Andrew said, great to have you back. Twitch just wasn't the same. Could be dealing with 10 minutes on YouTube and clips, match reactions wasn't enough. Hope you still do the gig full time on YouTube. Oh, we're so what's going to happen, actually, I should probably explain this before I finish up. So if you don't make the live streams, you're fresh out of luck, because we're going to start, as soon as the live stream's over, they're going on to private, and we're going to put out an 8-minute video. So the people who are able to join us for the live streams, happy days, great to have you with us. But afterwards, we're going to put them onto private and put up the shorter 8-minute videos. And I like to think of that just as a little reward for the people who are able to come and join us live. So that's what we're going to do with the new shows moving forward. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's what we're going to trial and see how we get on. I'm all about live stuff, you know me. This is where I feel at my most comfortable. Do I get over often for games? Honestly, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Not as much as I'd want to. Chegger, mate, no. And also, as you know yourself, maybe it's not as easy to get tickets these days, because the demand is such from Liverpool fans that, we're growing as a club. Worldwide fan base is, there's only so many seats. You never know though, with those extra seats in the Annie Road end, maybe it becomes a little bit easier. Can you keep the stream up after or not? Like, I'm sure I literally just explained that to you, mate, like seconds ago. From Dublin, yes, Pat, from Dublin, love that. What part of Dublin are you from? So I originally lived in Shankill. That's where I grew up, mate. I spent all my life as a kid until the age of 19 in Shankill. Then moved to, well, all around the place, to be honest with you. But yeah, Shankill is the short answer. I'll sort your ticket if you ever need it. That's very kind of you. Honestly, no joke for me, dude. Very kind of you. Look, I hope to get over this season. I really do. It's been too long. And yeah, I hope to get over. Yeah, and I think we're gonna win the Europa League in Dublin. I'm gonna die on that hill. Right, I'm gonna call it a night, my friends. But I want you to know that tomorrow we are live for the watch along. First one back on YouTube, 5 p.m. against Karlsruhe. Game kicks off at 5:30, so plenty of time to build up. We'll do a reaction, all that kind of stuff as well. You're from Christchurch, nice. It's always great to see fellow dubs in the chat. Love it. No matter where I move in the world, Pat, or how old I am or whatever, I always consider myself a dub. I've lived in this house in Wexford now for 14 years, I think. But I'll always think of myself as a dub. Right, my friends, I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Thank you as always for everything. The game is on LFC TV and LFC TV Go if you're looking to watch it yourselves. But it's going to be our first watch along back on YouTube. I can't wait. It's been a pleasure as always tonight. Thank you for giving up some of your evening to have a chat with me. And I will see you tomorrow. Much love. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button before you head off. And the tickets for the live show in Dublin, if you want to come and see them, just check out thesugarclub.com and you will see all the information there. But thank you as always. Have a good one.